All right, this is part 2 of my ADHD homeschool mom confessions and maybe a few tips. If you haven't watched part 1, go do that. I share 5 homeschool mom confessions in that video, and I'm going to share my last 5 in this one. It just would have been too much to put in one video. If you don't know, I am a homeschool mom of 2 kids, a 4th grader and a 7th grader. And I just recently, as an adult, was diagnosed with ADHD. Many of you have asked me to share tips on how I'm able to effectively homeschool while having ADHD. And I do plan to make more videos about that in the future, but I thought I would start with this set of videos and kind of confess some things about being an ADHD. My kids are calling me, oh man. An ADHD homeschool mom. And yeah. So number 6, the first 5 are in the other video. Number 6 is I tend to be very all or nothing. And here's how it affects my homeschool, both negatively and positively. So medicated or not, because I talked about in my other video that I am taking an ADHD medication now, and it's been really, really great for me. But medicated or not, in order for me to be able to be like the best that I can be in my homeschool, I have to plan and prep other areas of my life. And an example of that is our meals. So I have to meal prep my kids' breakfast and lunches for the whole school week. And my very all or nothingness is helpful there, because I can knock out in a couple hours on Sunday breakfast and lunches for them for the whole week. When I make dinner, I only cook about 3 times a week, 3 to 4. Any meal I make for dinner, we eat it twice. I cook enough so that we can have it twice, because that's how I can do it. That's what works for me. If I have to cook dinner every single night and plan dinner every single night, that's really hard for me. I'm to a point now where I can plan out the whole week. I didn't used to be able to do that. Here's a little example. I can plan out the whole week, like of dinners, but I don't shop for all those dinners at once. I am now to a point where I can make out my whole grocery list for the week, but I don't purchase them all in one fell swoop. I worry about 1 dinner at a time, maybe 2. So I'm constantly picking up Target drive-up orders. I will do like the kids' breakfast and lunches for the whole week. And even that feels a little overwhelming sometimes. But I can get a little hyper-focused on it and I can get it done. So I guess the all or nothing of me, the all or nothingness, I guess, of me can be a positive thing in that regard. The all part of it. The nothing part is, I mentioned in part 1 of this video how it used to be hard for me to make dinner. I could get through homeschool and then I could do nothing else. That was the nothing part. So it's just something that now that I know that about myself, I can start to kind of make decisions accordingly. All right, number 7, I like pretty curriculum. I have notes down here in case you wonder why I keep looking down. I like pretty curriculum, or curriculum that has a certain look to it, has a certain layout to it, but not for the reasons that you think. So I am drawn to aesthetically pleasing curriculum because of how my brain works. So when things are laid out a certain way on the page, it makes it much easier for me to take in the information. And pretty curriculum tends to do that. It tends to pay attention to how it looks on the page and, putting certain things in bold or boxing certain things and balancing that. And that all affects how I'm able to read it. I don't know why exactly, but it does. Compare, say, History Quest to Curiosity Chronicles. I like Curiosity Chronicles, but if you've ever used the instructor's guide for History Quest, it's so, I wouldn't say it's like beautiful necessarily, but the way it's laid out is just so clean and it's very simple. It's not like the teacher pages in Curiosity Chronicles where you have like 6 pages of extra resources. So I used to fall into that trap of purchasing curriculum because of how it looked. And then I would get it and realize that it wasn't always good curriculum, but I'm better at that now. But how it's laid out absolutely matters to me. It's not just the content of it. I mean, that's obviously important. But anyway, that's why that matters to me and my specific ADHD brain. So there you go. All right. Number 8. I keep buying and trying literature-based curriculum, even though I know that it does not work for us. Or unit studies that are literature-based. Things like Torchlight and Build Your Library and some of those types of curriculum or unit studies. I love them. I love books. I get 100% overwhelmed with all of the resources and having to flip from book to book to book to get through. I know that it doesn't work for me, but I still keep falling for it because I love the idea of it so much. One, I guess, kind of tip I have is that if you're like me and you keep doing it, accept the fact that you don't have to use it as written. You don't have to use all of the resources that they list. You can pick from Torchlight and do the things you want to do and not all of it. I mean, it obviously depends on what else you have going on as far as curriculum and what needs are being met. But that's kind of how I make that work. But the struggle is real. Okay. All right. Number 9. I am an impulsive person. Very much so. And I can plan too much. I can buy too much. I can buy curriculum without a plan. I can buy way too much like stuff for unit studies. And I can be impulsive in that throw the baby out with the bathwater, this isn't working, let's just get rid of it. Now, as you may, I hope, have recognized, I've gotten a lot better at that. And I guess that's kind of where my tip is to recognize that when to reflect and when to act. So I try now to not make rash decisions and to kind of take some notes, do some writing if we're in a problem area and I think a curriculum is not working, to really kind of think it through, to spend some time researching. And once I've done all that, then act on it, then make my decision of what should I do. I think there are a lot of impulsive people in the homeschool community because there's a lot of curriculum that gets thrown out probably pretty prematurely. So that's me. I can be an impulsive person, but that's how I've learned to kind of combat that. All right. Number 10. I can't fly by the seat of my pants when I'm homeschooling. I have lived so much of my life just flying by the seat of my pants, procrastinating, and then just flying by the seat of my pants. And even though I really like open and go curriculum, I don't use it as open and go curriculum. I like having a very well laid out scripted lesson, but that doesn't mean I can just open and go with it, even though that's probably how it's intended. Yeah, I just can't fly by the seat of my pants anymore. I don't have any tips for you on that other than that homeschooling takes time and it takes effort and it takes planning, and even open and go curriculum in order to be implemented properly oftentimes means you can't just open and go, whether you have ADHD or not, but especially if you have ADHD, or if your ADHD is similar to mine, because not every ADHD person is the same. And I think that that kind of is a narrative that we're seeing a lot, that certain, I don't know, that we just kind of lump all ADHD people together into one bucket of whatever, and they can be very different. So anyway, all right, those are my ADHD homeschool mom confessions and a few tips where I felt that they might be helpful. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know. Make sure you watch part 1, and I will talk to you down in the comments.